Alright, let's play Donna Lee today. I don't know about you guys, but for me personally, walking this tune has always been really challenging. Not only because it's in one of the harder keys to walk over, and that's the key of A flat major, of course. That's not a fun key to walk in at all. But also because it's often played at very fast tempos. Horn players love calling this tune because the melody is really complex and they just love to show how fast they can play these melodies. So oftentimes as bass players we have to play tunes like this. So I wrote out a 4-chorus walking bass line as recommended by Rufus Reid in his Evolving Bassist book. Fantastic book, you should definitely check it out. Not sponsored. And I tried to get a whole bunch of different ideas into this walking bass line. Ones that you hear bass players use all of the time. Things like drops, things like walk-ups, going up to the high area of the neck, walking up really high, walking back down the bass. Lots of passing note action, all sorts of different things to help you to get through the changes. I pinched lots of ideas for this walking bass line from the modern jazz bassist Yasushi Nakamura, who does a lot of playing for the Live at Emmett's Place jazz sessions. And by the way, if you haven't heard of Emmett Cohen, I would highly recommend checking out his YouTube channel after this video. He has the second best jazz channel on YouTube. So much great live music there. Emmett, you're the man. But okay, before we look at this bass line, we need to first get comfortable with the basic structure of Donna Lee. So let's quickly take a look at the form. Donna Lee is a bebop tune composed by Charlie Parker, although Miles Davis has claimed to be its true composer. Regardless, it's a very popular number among horn players due to its complex and challenging melody and fun chord progression for soloing. It's in the key of A flat major, which has 4 flats in the key signature. The form is 32 bars, split into 2 16-bar A and B sections. We start on the 1 chord, A flat major 7, and immediately shift to F7. This is what we call a secondary dominant, and it functions as the 5 chord of the 2 chord. This gives us an A natural note to play with. But when we get to the 2 chord, it's another secondary dominant 7th, the 5 chord of the 5 chord, which would be E flat 7. Here though, we don't resolve to its 5 chord. Instead, the A flat tonality is re-established with a 2-5-1 before a quick 2-5 into the 4 chord D flat major 7. The 6th edition real book has a D7 chord functioning as the 5 chord in this bar, but you could just as easily play the standard A flat 7 chord. Both approaches are used in today's walking bass line. This is what's often called a backdoor 2-5, when a dominant 7th chord is resolving up by a step to the 1 chord. The rest of the A section follows a similar structure to the start of the A section. The first 4 bars of the B section are identical to the A section. The second 4 bars goes to the relative minor, F minor, through 2 5s. In bar 28, we see B flat 7 and B diminished 7ths. Some charts omit the B flat 7, as harmonically it's almost identical to B diminished. The 3rd, 5th and 7th being identical in both chords. So you have some choice here for your walking lines. And the last line has 2 turnarounds in a row. A 3-6-2-5, resolving into the next turnaround, a 1-6-2-5, bringing us back to the top. Alright, so let me play the bass line now and we'll talk about some ideas and motifs.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, so let's go over a couple of the walking lines in this bass line and talk about what I'm doing here and some ideas that you can get into your own playing for this tune. So starting from bar 1, just walking down A flat major 7 arpeggio, root 7 5th, and then we've got one beat to get to F7, so let's just toss in an E natural passing note to get to F. Root 3rd 5th, passing note to get to B flat 7. And now we're just doing a really old walk up in jazz music. You've heard this a million times. And now for the 2-5-1, really simple. Just walking down A flat major, just walking right down the key. And then doing a walk up with the passing note E natural in there. Get back to A flat major 7. The reason we put the E natural on beat 2 is so we land on A flat on beat 1 for the 1 chord, right? If we leave out the E, then as you can see, we have got to that root note 1 beat early. So that's why we have these walk-ups. That's why we put in that extra note, just to give us one more beat so that we can get that root note on beat 1. D7, 5th, root. Means we can shift to D flat major. 3rd and 5th on D flat 7, D flat minor 7 rather. 3rd and then a passing note on G flat 7, G. And then we're going to the 5th of F7 on beat 1. What we're doing here is we're turning the F7 bar into from one full bar of F7 into a minor 2-5. So I'm essentially saying I'm playing C minor 7, flat 5, beat 1, with a G flat in there too, right? And then I'm finally saying that now when we get to the 3rd beat is F7, right? F7, B flat 7. And now a long walk up all the way up to the root, up on the G string. Okay, from here we're going to play the root note of A flat major 7 2 times, and then G, G flat to get us to F. From here, E flat, D natural, and C. I put in the D natural because we're leading into a B flat 7 chord anyway, and I felt like it just sounded like the right note. Could have played, let's see, could have changed it to a D flat just to keep it more in the key, but I felt like the D natural just sounded better, so that's why I made that choice there. And the nice big drop down to the open D string, the 3rd of B flat, 5th, root, and then passing note to get down to the root of G minor 7 flat 5. Now a walk up again. Some of you may know that on this chord, G minor 7 flat 5, the chord sound that we use for that would be the Locrian mode, G Locrian, which doesn't have A natural in it. It has A flat in it. It comes right out of the key of A flat major. Doesn't really matter so much for this chord type though. I believe I mentioned in an earlier video that putting the natural 9 on minor 7 flat 5 chords is really common in jazz music, and you can definitely do it in your walking lines as well. So A natural here. C7, just playing a C major triad, F minor. Playing the 3rd on C7, D natural, and open E to get to F minor. So what I'm saying here with E natural, of course, that's the 3rd of C7, D natural is the natural 9, and then C. So what I'm trying to say with this bar is we're using the C We're using the F melodic minor, which is this sound, with the D natural and the E natural in it. So I could have played like that, change the D natural to a D flat. That will give you more of a C7 sound, which typically fits a bit more into the key, of F minor as well. You can also use D natural. So I typically like the sound of the melodic minor when I'm playing in minor keys. So going from F minor now, root, 5th, 7, passing note. Now I'm leading to the 7 here on G minor 7, flat 5, root, 3rd, root on C7. Walk up, 2 roots each, and then for the and then for the turnaround here, just doing root, passing note, root, 5th, root, passing note, root, 3rd open string. I can shift and play the A flat up on the D string. Makes it a bit easier to play this last walk up. For the start of the second chorus. All right, I think that's probably going to do for this lesson. Check out the walking line on my Patreon page if you are interested, and you can dig a bit deeper there. But I think that's going to wrap it up for this lesson. Thanks for checking out the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. You can download the full bass line in standard notation for you upright players, and tab if you like to use tab if you play the electric. Thanks so much. See you in the next one.